Hello everyone, this is RexRed. I am back with some more fun stuff here. Oh yeah, we have an excellent connection. Yay! Yay, I hope we have audio. That's always a good thing too. Audio is a good thing. All right. Without too much fanfare, what we're going to do today is we are going to work with Embergen again, and this time what we're going to do is animate a texture, and we're going to animate a VDB in Daz Studio. I'm going to try to do this in a very kind of concise but comprehensive way, and we're live, okay? So imagine that. Okay, so we're going to do this and try to steamroll through this whole process without all kinds of hiccups and jumps and splices and edits. We're going to do this live. So it's all going to be from my brain here. So we're here at our computer, and I'm just going to take a moment here to make sure. Okay, I've got few programs open here that I may not want open. So let's see what we've got. Because it just slows things down, so what I'm going to do is go over here to this. Okay, actually I'm not showing that part yet, so what we can do is I can open up. I just got my email. I just don't want to, I'm going to, and we're going to close down my browser and make sure just I don't have, I find this stuff that later on, once I have, once I've gotten, I just end up with all kinds of windows open. And okay, so we're going to go back over here and we're going to switch now to our other computer rather than my live scene here. And here we are. We are in Daz Studio. But what we're going to do is we're going to go into Embergen here. And I'm going to restart. This is what I was thinking of doing here was this. And as you can see, this is a pretty big, long kind of where I have this happening inside of this little tube. And this allows us to have, I think I'll go with this so it doesn't take us too much time to do this. Okay, so what I have is a fire and smoke animation, and what I think that these are getting cut off a little bit off on the sides here. So what we might do is we go back here and we go back to our simulation, and let's go with 250. And this is a pretty big voxel count. Now and we're going to go apply resolution. And now let's see what this looks like. This is a pretty slow animation now. So, but it's going to give us a pretty big fire. Okay, so I'm not going to play through this whole animation. What we're going to do is we're going to go now back to here. And we have 400 frames. I think probably it might be good to just go with 200 for now, just to kind of proof and concept here. So we're going to export 0 to 200 frames, okay? And I think most people know how to create. And so what we have is a VDB that is both fire, which would be flames, and smoke, which would be density, And as you can see, they're named here. When we go into this, you see export density, and density name is density. And actually, this would be flames with an S and no capitals. So neither of these have capitals. So those are the words. Now, the Daz, I figured this out, and I think you can pretty much trust what I say. But Y up right-handed is the Daz Studio coordinate system. Now, if you take your right hand and you point it kind of like a gun, but instead of bringing your finger back, you're pointing, bring your middle finger out, okay? So it makes kind of like a vector, all right? Well, your fingers have to point. This is how you figure out the handed system for geometry editing software, okay, is that when you hold your fingers out, okay, your fingers have to always point in the positive direction, okay? So if I hold my fingers like this, my right hand, and I point it this way, it doesn't fit the Daz coordinate system because your index finger is pointing negative. So that means that this one would be wrong. But if you flip it around and you point it towards yourself, then your index finger is pointing positive in the Y, positive in the Y, which would be up and down, positive in the Z, and then then your middle finger is pointing positive in the X, okay? And so that tells you that so it doesn't matter how you move it, as long as when you move it, all three are pointing positive, then you know you have the right hand coordinate, okay? And so if you do that with your left hand and you point it this way, well, your index finger is pointing negative, so that would be wrong. And if you point it back towards this way, then your middle finger is pointing negative. So all three, even though the thumb is still pointing positive, all three are not pointing in positive directions, okay? So they have to kind of click and line up to that system. That's how you understand the handed system, okay? So what we're going to do now is I'm going to go into this folder here that I have, which is here in my PNG file. We're going to go to Embergen. We're going to delete all these. So select all and hit delete. Those are the ones I did earlier. We're going to go delete. And okay, that was a lot of them. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to hit export. We're going to export 200 VDB files. Okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are animating Daz. We are animating Embergen VDBs in Daz Studio using Abbas. Okay? Now, there are videos on YouTube that teach this, okay? But I'm hoping to do this in maybe in my style, okay? So that everybody can learn it. If you're having trouble with the other videos, if something is stumping you, and I'm going to go into this a little deeper because the other videos on YouTube didn't deal with flames. They only dealt with smoke. And we have flames now in Daz Studio. So I'm going to show you how to do this with flames, all right? So we're almost done exporting. We can open up Daz Studio. Now, what you want to do is go to your smart content and make sure you don't have anything selected in your scene. and you type in the word up here in your smart content, Abbas. And I don't know if it really matters if you have this filter by context, but if it doesn't show up, you have to buy Abbas. So Abbas should really have you so excited, okay? Because Abbas allows you to animate your shaders. Like you can have your character walking through the scene, and suddenly their blue jean jacket turns into a leather jacket as they're walking by. Or their hair goes and changes color as they're walking by. Now in Daz Studio, you can't animate surfaces. You can only animate parameters. So this is why Abbas is really cool, because it takes your surfaces and throws them in your parameters tab, and then you're able to animate your surfaces. And just think of the massive amount of possibilities, because it allows you to do things like have something disappear in your scene. It allows you to animate cutout opacity. It allows you to animate so many things. Okay, so find the Abbas program, double click on it, and inside of it, there's this one thing here, one thing only inside of here, and it is a VDB container. Now you can make these yourself, but let's use the Abbas one, all right? So what I do is I right click on this and I create a custom action, and I add this up into my favorites so that it's here in my favorites. And if you know anything, it's just so that if you ever need a VDB container, you can just go up into your favorites. You don't have to search for Abbas. You don't have to find it and open it. You just always have it here in your favorites, and you can, boom, put that into the scene. So if I go to 9 here and we zoom out, this is the VDB container. It's just a box and it looks kind of invisible, but that is our VDB container. Okay, then part 2 to this is to go in, and this box already has the volume set. So if you go into parameters here, it already has, it's already named a volume. So I'm not sure where that is. I think you display, I believe it might be in, you might have to go into your surfaces tab. Yeah, in the surfaces tab, it's been named volume. Okay, so now, so this is a VDB container. It doesn't have a VDB in it yet. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to load a volume file. Okay, now we got to go back here to Embergen, because if you notice here, what I have is a file name, and then I have these four little the scores or number kind of things, pound sign. Okay, well these are what they stand for is 0. So what it tells you is that this is that your title, that your file name, it's going to create, because we have 400, we have 200 frames in our animation, and the way I got these frames to be, I just put these, well, it says at 400. I think it just made 400 frames. Let me go and look. I think it made 400, but oh, it's saying 199. Okay, so I guess, so it's 0 to 199. I guess that's right. That's what I wanted. Even though these say 400. Oh, that one says 400. Okay, so, and this one does, but the duration of the export of the VDB was, I don't know if I just messed something up doing that, but it's correct. Okay, so you want these pounds. So what you do is when you go example of resultant, it's going to give you different numbering systems. And if you pick this, because the thing is that if you have, you can't have numbers that go 1 to 9, and then the next category, Abbas doesn't know how to handle them. The next category would be 2 digits from 10 to 99, and then the next series of numbers would be 3 digits, 100. They have to be all the same amount of digits, but with zeros at the beginnings. So you would have 0001, 0002, and when you get to 10, then you'd have 0010. So you always have 4 digits. So if you're going to have 1,000, if you're only going to have 100, then you'd only have to pick these 3 so that it's 0012, and because it's only going to go into the 3-digit numbers. So just keep that in mind, that if you can't pick the 2 if you're going to go over 100 frames, okay? So you have to pick the 3 digits. That's how you set it, so that when you get into your numbers here, that as you can see that there are, when I get into the hundreds, that there's a 0 in front of them. I really didn't need that 0, but when you get to the first frame, you got 00199, and when we get to the first frame, it's 0000, then 0001. So I hope you understand that. So that's how you have to export them out of Embergen, okay? Is so that if you just click in this little box, it'll give you a drop down. Just pick this last one and then put your file name. I put VDB animation, and then I just selected this and clicked the last one, and that will give you the correct numbering strategy or hierarchy, so that Abbas knows how to load them consecutively. All right. So just going over that. Now, what we're going to do is now go into our Windows. If you have Abbas installed properly, and I believe you might have to also have, so we're going to open Abbas. You might also have to put in a password for it to work, a serial number, and your serial numbers you'll find in your Daz account. So now I'm going to, so you go into the window and panes and find Abbas, as long as it will show up there if you have your serial numbers in. And then, and you would put your serial numbers here in Tools. I'm not going to go in there because my serial numbers are in there, but we would go into Help and About Installed Plugins. If you go there, you'll find out, and if it shows that it's got the serial number, I think a green check mark, then it should show up here, and you use your install manager to install it. So then you have the ability to animate shaders and surfaces in Daz Studio, which is very, 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 very exciting. Okay, so what we're going to do is create an animated shader. So we're going to go here and create this. And I don't know if you have to do this or not, but you drop that into the OpenVDB container. And then when we go into parameters for this animated shader, you will notice that all of the parameters that go with this OpenVDB container that are in the shader, that are normally in the shaders tab, are now parameters. They're not shaders anymore. They're parameters in here that are animatable. Okay? So what we would want to do now is go into our OpenVDB container, and we're going to kind of work blind here for a while. All right? So, but we're going to go into our open VDB container, and we're going to go to surfaces, okay? And we're going to load our first VDB here. Would be volume channel. No, not volume channel. Okay. Volume file, browse. This is going to take us to here. This would be in here, BNG. Embergen. And we're going to pick the first one there. Okay. And you're not going to see anything here because it's because of the way this animation is. It starts with this little dot, and then the smoke erupts out of that, and it becomes this big, gigantic kind of fire. But it starts out as a little dot. So, and the first, oh gosh, I just put this in the last one. Okay, I think I have to come in here and delete that. Delete selected keys. Okay. And we're going to add a keyframe here so that VDB is there. Okay, so then we're going to go back into the animated shader and parameters. And we're going to enable this animated shader. And we're going to enable files animation. Okay. And there are things down in here also, but we'll deal with those things later. I guess we'll turn on emission enable, and we might as well give the density multiplier so we can actually see it. We'll make that at 100. Okay. And we might as well give our emission temperature multi. We're going to go at 5,000. And we're going to go here with 100. We'll go with 300. Okay, the emission scale. So emission temperature multi is going to be 5,000. And the emission scale is going to be 300. The emission tint is white, but it'll still be its color. It'll still be red like fire, yellow like flame. Now you might want to think about your environment, because what I've done with my environment here is I've added a backdrop and I've changed the backdrop to black so I can actually see the smoke. Because if you're in this white, you can't really see smoke if the sun is so shining so bright. Sometimes it can obscure smoke, but in a dark room with a light pointing on the smoke, you can see it very easily. So you have to think about that, okay? So what I do now is I go to the end here, and we drag this to the end. And then we drag this completion here, and we add a keyframe. Okay, now we should see some smoke. And it's not working. All right, let's see. Surfaces, parameters, okay. Open VDB. Let's go back to our surfaces here. Okay, we don't have a volume file here. Browse. So we go to our where would it be? PNG, Embergen 001. Okay, I might have to do this a couple times to make this work. Okay, and then we go to parameters, animated shader. Okay, we want this at 0. And add a keyframe. And then it should switch to 100. Okay. And it's not working. Now we go here to surfaces. Okay, that didn't work. So I think I might have to delete these keys again. I think it was because I had my to delete selected keys, delete selected keys. All right, so we're going to go now to our volume file and browse. You know, it'd be nice if that remembered where that was. Okay, so we're going to go Embergen. All right, so we're going to add a keyframe here. Okay, then we go to the end. Okay, it still remembered these. Okay, so now we go to our parameters here, to our animated shader. And we put a keyframe. So what have we now? Okay, that's correct. That's correct, but we put this keyframe there. Okay, and okay, we go back to our surfaces. Emission volume channel has to be density. Okay. And no, that would be emission volume channel is density. Okay. And our emission volume channel is flames. Okay. Let's see what we've got here. Okay. All right. This would be flames. Flames, add a keyframe. And this one would be density. And add a keyframe. And we move here. Volume channel. Density. Add a keyframe. And flames. And add a keyframe. Where is... Oh, we have to be in iRay. Okay, let's see what we have. Okay, for some reason it keeps turning this off. Volume file, browse. Let's try again. Okay. Add a keyframe. Volume channel. Density. No, this would be density, yeah. Flames. Add a keyframe. I may have just corrupted this. If you don't do it all in the right, okay, so like we've lost, okay. I've lost, okay. We have to start over. Let's try this again. This time we'll try here. Well, this time make sure I'm at 0, okay? So we go favorites. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day. You have to do this the right way. So I'm going to go into now parameters to shade surfaces. And we're going to load our browse and load our first VDB in the, it's going to be this 0 VDB. We'll go volume channel. We're going to add all of our information here. It's density. Okay, volume channel. Density. Okay. And then this, we're going to turn on the emission. Flames. Okay, and we're going to put this at, we'll go 7,000. All right. And we're going to set this one at 300. 300. Okay, and this is all set. We don't want it clipping to the geometry. All right. And now we're going to add a keyframe. Now, and our density up here is a multiplier. We're going to set that up to 100. Okay. And we're going to add a keyframe. Just make sure that those are all there. Okay, clip to geometry. Okay, so now we're going to go to a boss and we're going to create an animated shader. And we're going to drag that animated shader into our OpenVDB and select the animated shader and go to parameters. Then we're going to enable this. We're going to go enable files animation. And these are all on. Those are correct. Okay. File, volume animation VDB. Okay, so now what we do is we drag our, make sure, let's hit our, okay, now we drag this to the end. Then we go to completion and we add a keyframe there. Now this should work, okay? There it is. There is our fire, animated, okay? So follow that last part, okay? So now I'm going to go back to our first frame here so I can zoom in on this because you don't want to move your camera around while, because we're animating here. Okay, so we're, oh, I just did it. Okay, I think I just messed that up. We got to add a keyframe. There, okay, let's go backwards. All right. So we only did 200 frames, okay? So what we do now is we're going to go to the first frame again. We'll move it down a little bit and see what this looks like, okay? Now we go back to the first frame. Go like this. Let's pull this animation down a little, window down a little bit. Okay, let's click play. Okay, so what's wrong here is I've got my fire a little too strong. Now we can go back to this first frame. And we're going to have to change it at the first frame and the last frame. So we'll go to parameters. And all of our parameters are in here now in our shader. So our density is like 7,000. So let's bring it down to like 5,000. Okay, if we change it here, and you see how it goes up to 7,000. So we bring this one down to 5,000. Okay, and see, this is now 5,000. It's staying at 5,000, so there are no. Okay, let's bring this one down to 200. And the one at the end, see, that's going to go up to 300. So let's bring this one down to 200. Oh, it should set all the tweens for us. Now it looks like we got a kind of healthy fire there with our smoke. Okay, we're going to move our camera over a little more here so it's in the center. And we'll see if we can pull in a little more here. Okay. And we're going to click play again. It's doing pretty good for. Okay, and don't move your camera unless you're at the first frame, okay? Or you're going to end up animating. Well, I don't think I can animate my. I don't actually have a camera in the scene right now. I don't think you can animate the perspective view. So I'm not positive, but I don't think you can. But let's be cautious about it. All right, so we click play again, and there we go. This is our animated fire. All right, let's go back here and pull out a little bit here so we can see the whole thing. All right. All right, so we'll go back here to the beginning just to be cautious. And we're going to go here. Now we stop it and we get a pretty good flame here. I still think that flame's a little high, and I think that now I could go to my environment. Remember, these things you change here, you have to make sure you're at the beginning of your. All right, so if we go with our environment and say 1.5, I think if I go to the end of my end of this, it's going to go back to 1. No, so we just didn't have any keyframes there for that. So so let's see, how did that brighten this up a little? Yeah, it brightened up our environment a little bit. Okay, and now I still think the fire is a little bit strong. So we go back to this, go back to parameters, and the fire, this was at the 5,000. Let's go to 4,000. All right, and we'll take that one there, and we'll go to this one and say that one 4,000. I do kind of want it to have a little bit of, well, that's kind of bright there. Yeah, see, that's kind of good. Looks like a fire, like there's an explosion there, and then it burns. Okay, so what we do here now, we go back to our parameters, and I'm thinking to make the smoke a little bit more transparent rather than kind of, so it looks like fire smoke rather than some kind of mushroom cloud. So let's go to like 50 on the smoke, but that's going to go back up to 100 again, so we got to bring this back down to 50 here. Okay, so this is going to give us more of a wispy smoke. See that? It's got a little bit more. I think we could even go down to like 10 maybe. All you need is the effect of the smoke. So we bring this one down to 10. And now let's see what we have here. Yeah, it's just the idea that there is smoke is enough. Okay. So there we go. So it comes up, it starts up, it's obviously a this is a torus. It's like a donut kind of thing, I think. So it comes out of the torus, and then it starts its... So, all right, so what we're going to do now, this all looks good. It looks kind of centered. So let's go to our render settings now, and we're going to go image series. Render one from how many frames? We got 239. Yeah, and now what we're going to go is to progressive render. We're going to turn render quality off, okay, and we're going to go maximum time. Just take that one all the way up because it's going to get stopped at 1,000 iterations. So each frame is going to get 1,000 iterations. I think this will render fast, but I'm not positive. General, okay, so image series, and where do we want this? We're going to call this animated flame. All right, and we're going to, PNG is fine. We're going to go here to this, click this, and we're going to go to animated series. Okay, we're going to call this, what was this, animated flame. New folder, animated flame. Okay, select the folder, and then we hit, let me see, there's got to be something I'm missing. Oh, with the size, we don't need it to be 6,000 pixels, 16 by 9. We'll go 1920 by 1080. All right, so and render. And let's take a look at our folder now here, which would be in here, which would be animated flame. Okay, the first one, see, those are going pretty fast. So it doesn't. Hello, Anus. Good evening to you, dear friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. How are you doing? We are animating fire in Daz Studio. So you could have like your scene and have candles on the wall and have them animating. I might try a candle kind of thing too. We might do some kind of animated candlelight, but I don't know. We'll see how I feel. So we shall see how I feel. Yep. Now I'm not seeing anything started here, but we're only on frame 10. So, but I'm seeing something sort of come out here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, see, we have some little bit. Where there's smoke, there's fire. Okay, so we can go here. We go back, and the smoke goes away. And as we slowly come in, and that's not bad. That's 1,000 iterations per frame. Now, these will not be... I could put a transparent background, which, okay, now my, my now that we got a lot of light behind me showing up here. Okay, so we got a little bit. We should see the smoke there. So now we got the smoke coming out. So welcome, Anus, dear friend. So yes, we have some animated fire coming now. Doesn't take that long to render, not with my machine. So I have, my computer is 128 gigs of like super duper fast RAM, two 3090 graphics cards, and I have 18 Intel Extreme i9 cores with, and so my system has like 44 lanes. So it's a pretty fast computer. And then I've got like about 8 hard drives and SSDs, 4 terabyte SSDs and all of that stuff. So the reason why I say that is because, you know, I don't want you to just jump into this and say, oh, I can animate fire, you know, without, you know, looking and saying, is your computer capable of doing this, you know? So because like Abbas, animation, I'm just starting to get into animation because it's at first I really thought I couldn't do it, but then I thought, you know, if I do some kind of simple stuff, or if I take my characters and make them really pare down their geometry and put kind of terrible textures on them and everything, I might be able to do some of this stuff. So that's the idea. So here we go. We've got some kind of animation happening here. Whoa, look at that. It seems to be going faster now. I don't know why. But do I have this running? No, I don't have a fire simulation. So, okay, let's go back here. I'm interested in now this. Let's go to presets. There's a flame one. Candle flame. Don't save. Now, let's see if there's actual flame with this. Volumes, so we would go to VDB and pull this out, export VDB, and it does. It would appear there is some kind of density to it. And I think if I were to just, okay, so let's try and let's go first to this simulation. We're in a 64 by 64. And this has got up3 scaling of 3. Okay, so this is kind of weird that it's got so much upscaling. I think it's so amazing that the computer can simulate something as like amazing as fire, you know. You figure it probably took humans, you know, millions of years to be able to even, you know, cultivate fire. And here we are now, just, you know, in being able to animate fire. And you know, for anybody can who gets a computer and does this stuff. So I just find the whole philosophical implications of it. Okay, so we're going to call this candle. And let's kind of get moving on this. Let's open this up. We need to give it these numbers here. Oops, I didn't want to do it twice. Okay, file name. We go here, And let's put candle. Candle with 4 of those at the end. All right. Now, let's turn this, let's go back to the beginning. Back to the beginning. And we go to simulation. Now, where is fuel emission? Add. Smoke emission. This is what we want. Add. Now what happens if we add some smoke emission? Ooh, that's what we want. Okay, so but what we've got to do now is go back to our simulation, and we need to go like up to like 1000. Let's try that. And we're going to zoom out on this so that our candle doesn't get, oh, we have to apply. And now let's play this. I might have a little too much. It might be a little too high. I can't see. Okay, what is the B? B? Okay, that is a little bit too high. This shows me the box. So I don't think we need to go to 1000. Let's go to like 400. And apply it. Let's see what that does. Does it go up enough and then dissipate and disappear? It does. Right at about 400. So instead of 64, let's go 84 and 84. And let's, in this upscaling, let's bring it down to 2. And let's go to 500 here. That just made it a little bigger, gave it a little bit of room inside. Wow. Okay. Now, you could put this on a candle in your Daz scene. Okay? So, what happened to Anus? Where did you go, Anus? All right, so we're going to now go back to our export. We've got our candle. We're going to do a number of frames. We're going to go to, I think this might be small enough that I could kind of do 1,000 frames or something. Let's go change the directory. Okay, so our directory was here, Embergen. Okay, we're going to create a new folder, and this is going to be candle and candle flame and smoke. All right, and let's go in here. And let's set the amount of frames. And we're going to go, okay, duration here is going to be 500. 500 miles. All right, 500. All right, why are there only 2 here? We got render and export VDB. There usually is like 3. Okay, and we're going to go. All right. So that is the, and we go here. That says 500. Okay, I don't see. I thought there was like a way to put something here to stop it, but it's going to stop at 500, okay, because I have this set here. So now we have one, okay, we got density, fuel, velocity. So the 2 that we're going to need to deal with is flames and density, okay? I guess. I don't think we're going to need the others. Okay, so we're going to go Z is up. No, is Z up right-handed is incorrect. It's Y up right-handed, okay? And Y rhymes with sky, okay? And so the thumb is the sky. It points at the sky. And the right-handed, if you reverse your hand back, like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to go back into that. So directory, okay. Now, I think we're ready to export now. All right, so it's going fairly fast for creating 500. Now, where are we in our animation? I forgot how many we had here, but we've got it going on here. Okay, so we go backwards. I was thinking I could open up my beta and use that to do another animation, but the thing is I don't know that I have a boss set up in that. The beta, you have to make sure your passwords and stuff are all. So I would say this is going to be probably it for now. We have close this down. That looks a little pixelated. That probably could have rendered for 2,000 each, 2,000 frames each. Now, how many frames have we got so far here? We are at frame 68. I think it was like 200 that we did, so it's not too bad. We're at like 68, so we're about a third of the way through. So, all right. So this basically, you open up Photoshop, and when you load, and you click open. I suppose I could do this. Let's see. Go here, and I'm going to go full screen for a little bit so I can check. We open Photoshop. Why can't it find Photoshop? I just updated Photoshop. Unpin. Photoshop, we'll try 2024. Hopefully my Photoshop, I just updated it, so it may have an issue with the icon being changed. The beta icon, the beta. Now Photoshop is like taking a while to load. Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is open. Okay, open. And we'll go to Embergen. This wouldn't be here. No, it would be an animation series. And we go to, what would this be? Okay, this would be it. Cancel this. Now we go open. That is strange. Okay, so animated series. So we're going to go into here. And I have the animated flame. We go into here. You select the first one, so you find the series that Daz has made, and then you go to image sequence and open it. Select 30 frames per second. And it will create a video of your flame. Okay, and this isn't done yet, but it will create this. As long as you select image sequence, it will create and it'll open and look like this. Then you go to File, Export, Render Video. We're going to go back to this. Full screen just for a moment. Okay, file, let's see, export video, render video. Okay, so we have now this. When you click render video, it comes up with this. That's going to go into finished videos. And we come here and we're going to call this animated flame. Animated flame dot move, and you have to select these render options so that you have interactive OpenGL. And you have straight unmatted here in these drop downs, or else you won't. Oh, actually, you don't need that for this because this is not going to be. I don't think it will create a. Okay. This would be finished videos. Okay, and this is our animated flame dot move. No, this won't. It can't create a. It'll still create a movie, and it's not going to create the full movie because that's pretty good there. Because I didn't let it finish. So, but we can get a pretty good idea of what that's going to be like. So that's going to do it for this video. So at this point, we have the something to look forward, the candle video. That we'll try and do that also. So what we have here is animation of shaders. I think I want to go into this and do more with shader animations. Just fun stuff. Having this Abbas has got me really intrigued, because I think that if I can just get this idea of like, well, let's put Abbas in and animate something here. Let's animate, you know, the fire in the fireplace kind of thing. So this is it's not that difficult to throw some animated fire, and you just basically move it into the scene where you want it to be on that first frame, and it's going to just sit there and then do its thing. So it's really interesting. Now I'm wondering because this is I'm wondering about looping fire. Now there's also with Abbas where you can put, like, in front of the fireplace, you could put a video. So what you do is you animate your fireplace, okay? And then you animate your fire and run it through all that stuff. And then what you do is you put a plane in front of the fireplace, just a square plane, and fit it right in perfectly. And then you put that video on the plane, because Abbas allows you to put video on things in Daz, because you are it allows you to put video on things in Daz because it is surfaces. These are surfaces that you are animating. And so if you say, I want the first frame of this surface to be the first frame of this video and the last frame of the video, and if you have a series of frames, it's going to run through that series and put that series on a plane in the same exact way. So, okay, I hope this was helpful and all to you guys. Let me know if you enjoyed this, if you learned something down in the comments. If there's anything in particular that I did wrong, let me know. This is the way we do this, okay? So, alrighty, take care. This is RexRed saying so long. And this is EZ3DTV. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications if you would like to be here. We missed Anus. So I missed him when he was down there saying hi. So, all right, we are on our way to well, we just passed 100,000 Daz assets, 100,050. So, all right. Take care. So long. This is RexRed saying thank you for watching, and take care. Please leave comments. Alrighty. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.